something you'll see only on Mississippi Live, our exclusive triple threat. We're going to pick things up late tonight, around midnight or so, and kind of go from there. Triple threat allows us to, on the same graphic, show rotation, show wind damage potential, and show large hail potential. I'll tell you, we have tweaked the colors. We're still trying to find the best way to show this so that it makes the most sense. The lines you see on top here, where it depicts the thunderstorms at, and when you see all of these little swaths, especially back there into Texas, this is where it has rotating thunderstorms, where you see in the pink there, where it has large hail, where you see the reds, that's where it has rotation, or where rotation has gone. When you see the blues, damage is most likely. So that is what triple threat looks like when it's produced active weather. Let's go through this and show you through time how this all plays out. So tonight, that level 3 severe weather risk for a greater concentration reports, you can see what that kind of looks like. A pretty decent concentration reports back out on the plains for tonight. Into your Friday, not a ton of activity through 6 p.m. there, but late tomorrow night, that's when storms develop back out into Arkansas and could produce some wind damage of their own, some rotation, isolated tornado threat. Now, I'll tell you, triple threat is not impressed largely by what it sees out of the storm system to the west. I do think it's probably underdoing things a little bit there. You can see generally that line of thunderstorms that's left and some hail back to the west of us. As we go through Saturday, and again, we talked about this a moment ago as the line moved through, the isolated storms pretty heavy, and from time to time, you can see on there where it does depict perhaps some hail back out there closer to, say, Senatobia. That's where it's dropped a little bit of hail in the wake of those thunderstorms, a few spots there. But when I look at this, I don't see a lot of those red swaths associated with damaging rotation on this. So one thing I would say, kind of looking at this latest version of triple threat, this is not to say we won't have anything, but to say that at least at this distance out, we don't have those individual rotating thunderstorms that are as significant. So we don't expect to have a lot of reports of severe weather on your Saturday, but it's possible maybe we could have a couple. That is why our concern continues to be largely focused looking toward next week. And again, for some comparison here across the entire Magnolia State, a lot of heavy rainfall with what happens down there south. So let's look into next week. We kind of alluded to this a minute ago. We will continue to have some rainfall and thunderstorm chances into Monday, into Tuesday of next week. Again, our future cast here, the farther you get out, the more likely we're to run into some error on this. But as you can see, into Tuesday, showing some scattered showers here. What we're really waiting on is our next storm system to get a little closer to us. It kind of shows up, I think, a little better even on the wide shot here. We're looking toward Texas there. That's where our cutoff low is, trying to throw more energy out toward us for locations, at least on this projection here, back out into Texas, where it's showing those thunderstorms there into your Wednesday, and then once again into your Thursday. Cutoff low pressure centers are traditionally very, very stingy on how quickly they move east. One of the reasons this one is not moving particularly quickly east as it comes through. Let's look at a combination here of upper level winds and the moisture that fuels thunderstorms. So this is looking at jet stream and fuel. And see how this gets pinched off, what we call a positively tilted trough. How it's kind of angled from the northeast back to the southwest. This is not one that's particularly great at producing severe weather. And for us, you can see the strong winds to help organize thunderstorms largely back to the north and west of us, as fuel remains most significant south. With those two things out of position, yes, we have a chance for storms on Saturday, but that's why we think heavy rainfall will be the main impact that those thunderstorms bring. But see that thing still spinning out west? That's that cutoff low pressure center. Looking toward Monday of next week. Looking toward Tuesday of next week. Still kind of spinning away back out there toward Texas. We have fuel in place here, and ahead of it, if it's able to kick out a little wave that maybe detaches from that upper level low, our storm chances would be more significant. We have the fuel. The question for next week is, do we have the upper level support to go with it? Because that thing, as you can see, day to day, even by Thursday, still solidly west of us. Friday, getting a little bit closer, fuel closer. But notice by the time it gets in here, we have less of those strong winds. They're all kind of up here farther north. So still some questions, thankfully revolving around next week's storm chances there. This looks a lot better for us than the severe weather chances did last night. So a little bit of an improvement as far as that is concerned. Still a greater high-end potential if that were to trend that direction, but something that we will definitely see as we get closer. I do want to bring in our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor. Again, Gabe, one of the many things we're looking at on that, this is a look at the GFS. You've looked at Euro, we've looked at some other things here. Thoughts kind of on the transition from yesterday, solidly Wednesday, to trying to linger a little later now?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we're needing to monitor, still 7 days out. And so folks at the Storm Prediction Center, as well as us here at Mississippi Live Weather, needing more of that consistency to build confidence heading into the event. While the potential still remains, the timing, and of course, timing could eventually impact the impacts. That's kind of what we're going to iron out as we head through tomorrow, as we head through the weekend, and really even into the start of next week before we start getting confidence into either this happening or potentially not happening. But again, we don't really have a tell one way or the other, but if we were just using what we have right there, we would say that there is definitely some possibilities for some of those strong storms.
And it's, again, with that trend later, that's a good sign. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see everything locking in on a time 7 days out. That's when we get really worried.
Yes.
That's one of the things working to our advantage. Because of the multiple severe weather threats, again, want to remind you about our weather call. It is a phone alert service that will let you know if there's a chance for active and severe weather. In particular, if there's a tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning issued for your area, it will call you. And phone alerts are important because they break, at least in my opinion, and what research shows, they break through the clutter of every other little bloop that comes through your phone. I mean, trust me, my phone goes off a lot, and I ignore every one of those. But my phone rings, I'm going to look at it. And that's the kind of thing that we need, is to get that brain to register for ourselves, for our kids, maybe for our grandkids, to let them know severe weather is possible. For $15 a year, you can sign up for our weather call. I'm going to bring Gabe back in here for a moment. And again, Gabe, one of the things that we are looking at is we are looking at sports, excited for what is coming as, again, high school playoffs are currently in action, right?
Yes, I feel like I've been watching high school playoff basketball for my whole life at this point, and it's only been about 3 days worth of coverage. And so the fact that we're talking about the semifinal action and now state championships happening as we speak means that this is the most exciting time. Now, as we do need to, of course, play it out. No, you're good, you're good. But we do have several state championship games happening. One of those being tonight, 6A action happening as we speak. For our folks up there in Northwest Mississippi, Olive Branch is down after the first quarter, 15-8 to Neshoba Central. But if you remember, our Ethan Foster, he picked Neshoba Central in this one, and he is currently 8-0. So as we head into tomorrow, we have 1A action, we have 4A action, we have 7A action. And that is where our Ethan Foster joins us now to let us know who he has coming out on top in those 1A matchups.
That's not in preview. You're going to have to hit the button.
Click play out.
Yeah.
The state high school basketball championships continuing on for 1A girls and boys. Of course, that happening Friday morning for the girls at 10 and the boys at noon. Starting off, we've got Ingomar versus Okolona for the girls state championship in 1A. Take a look at these two teams you see here on the screen. Ingomar finished first in 1A Region 4 in the regular season. They've been averaging 60 points a game in the playoffs, on the higher end there. And a player to watch for them is Peyton Ray, been averaging 18 points a game. Let's take a look at Okolona now. Second in 1A Region 3 to finish the regular season. They've been averaging about 54 points per game in the playoffs. And something to note here is that Okolona lost 3 separate times to Ingomar in the regular season, and 2 of those losses were by just 2 points or less. And so, with that being said, who are we going to pick for the 1A Girls Championships? I'm going to be rolling with Ingomar to take home yet another state title, as they do so well. And let's take a look at the boys. Of course, competing at noon, we've got Calhoun City versus LaFleur County. The Wildcats of Calhoun City finished first in 1A Region 4 in the regular season. They've been averaging about 60 points a game in the playoffs. Player to watch for the Wildcats, actually 2 players to watch, Jalen Jackson and Caden Holland, 2 guys that we've seen throughout the season in some of our games of the week. I'm sure they're ready for a big game. And for LaFleur County, they finished the regular season first in 1A Region 6. they've been averaging about 66 points per game in the playoffs. And for them, player to watch, Mr. Imani Journey, been averaging 16.7 points per game. Might be a surprise pick here, but I'm actually going with Leflore County to win this game. I love the Wildcats, but from what I'm seeing, I think Leflore County has the edge here. We'll see how it goes. Of course, keep it tuned right here to Mississippi Live Sports. As always, I'm Ethan Foster. We'll see you again for more soon.
And Ethan picked, that was just one of our matchups heading into tomorrow, should I say, two of the matchups, but for just 1A. 4A following that, as well as 7A for the nightcap, and that is where Ethan will keep his picks going. We'll see if he goes 2-0 tonight with Neshoba Central, and I forget who he has for the boys matchup, but heading into tomorrow, of course, those games do tip off at 9 a.m. Should be a great time, and congratulations to all of our area teams for getting out there, showing up, showing out, and we could not be prouder here at Mississippi Live Weather. But Matt, if you are heading back towards Jackson, and if you're a team that did advance, well, the forecast shaping up to be a little bit stormy for some on that commute down there. So as we, of course, track that into tomorrow's forecast, that's the stormy weather for at least the start of it. But getting into Saturday, we have more of those matchups taking place. And that is unfortunately where if you're going to Jackson, pack that rain gear because it is going to be a stormy day and potentially a strong stormy day. So Matt, we're keeping eyes on that as we head further into the forecast, but we have a full breakdown on this, and you have that for us.
Yeah, of course, coming up tonight at 10 here from the Room to Room Weather Center. We'll be looking at the very latest on our exclusive Storm Fighter and Triple Threat. Also, we have an ability to kind of break down the rotation just by itself. We'll start looking at some of that a little more in the next couple of days, but I think it still remains next week with that greatest potential. One of the things we'll be breaking down here coming up at 10 o'clock. Before we go, do want to give the forecast this evening for the folks at the high school, basketball game there. Again, the folks, give me which is it again?
1, 4, and 7.
1, 4, and 7A there tomorrow. If you're going down to Jackson for those games, a lot of folks probably already down there. It'll be warmer than it is up here, mid-80s and a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, a possibility there. Again, more on the sports, doing a little bit of that again with the high school playoffs and our game of the week as well, coming up at 10 p.m. Keep it here for the latest, and for Gabe, for Ethan, and myself, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. We'll see you then.